and welcome to the BuzzKitty channel. This is Burke. We have been grinding on Genesis. Came over from Astraeos, no transfers allowed, so fresh start. Still have my levels on my Ingrams. Look at that. Alpha motor. We got shipyards. We got everything. But it's time to venture over to Bjarnheim. Leave the pirate life behind. So I thought we'd get a kit up together. You can see a tech transmitter there. The only reason for that is I do want to be able to escape and come back to Genesis, which I will later find out is actually fairly easy. Anyway, we got the kit together. Go to transfer out from Genesis, which I thought was going to be straightforward. Nice little kit there. Again, this man has earned his stripes. He wants to take some kit to Bjarnheim. However, so I knew we couldn't transfer in, but I forget you can't transfer out either. So, back to Astraeos. Completely naked, nothing on us, and it's been a while. You can see the stuff we've collected over the years. We don't want to be taking anything too crazy. We got, look at S-Osodons. Wildly mutated carcass. Look at the suits, the divine armor, tech suits. Yeah. Now check how long it takes to work out that my elevator is unpowered. I mean, it's been a while since we've been at the Astraeos main hub, but wow. I mean, it even says in bright yellow, unpowered. But anyway, just taking in the surroundings. This is obviously our main base. I'm gonna get some element, get that into the generator, and get the place back online. Honestly, watching this is like I haven't played the game before, but I can assure you, many hours, many hundreds of hours. I was just going to go straight into the Bjarnheim content, but I wanted to give a little backstory on the character. Now, I didn't want to overdo it and take a ludicrous loot, but at the same time, this man's been around the block, and we want a fairly easy ride, or we want to enjoy our Bjarnheim or Bjarnheim experience. All that cursed tech loot. Anyway, for some reason the lights are flickering. Just give you a little background on Buck here. Look at it. Look at what we've built. And you can see his feats over the years. Lost colony. The whole of the island. Astraeos bosses. We've even got the Hydra there. Taxidermied. Give you a bit of background on this man and what he's achieved. Anyway, I think we're going to choose to take one tame with us. Nothing that's going to break the game. I think a bison might fit the map. Something like a Deinonychus or something would be cool, but no, we're going to stick with Big Mikey Bice. A little bit of kit, just enough to get us started and to be able to enjoy the map. So yeah, I think we're ready to go. The adventure begins. It does not begin. So it turns out that you actually have to have the map installed, so bear with. Hey, and here we are. This is the first time I've not had a proper map, so could be interesting. Immediately freezing. And you Arc experience. This is the standard Arc experience. Enjoy. I mean, this is potentially because I'm on a server cluster. Good God. Immediately jumps into the water upon being released. Just remembers we have a grapple attachment for our crossbow. Get out of the extraordinarily cold water. Finally put our fur gear on. Look at that. Didn't bring any gloves. That's something we are going to have to search for. Attach the torch. Get out our creature. Everybody meet Mike Bison. Going to be our steed. It's going to get us around the map. And the adventure can finally continue. Look at it. Phenomenal looking map. So far, we've been in it for about 30 seconds. However, it's going to give you a little bit of a view of what we've come across already. I've been exploring for about a minute. Just look at it. Featuring a random compy, which is along for the ride. Coming across these bridges, waterfalls. Just taking it all in on the back of Mike Bison. You're wondering why he's pink. That's due to a mutation. Just take this in. It's phenomenal. Got a Rex going off in the distance there, but we are just gonna explore the region very, very briefly. Get an idea for where we want to make home. Really love these sort of pre-built little villages. A lot of action as well. I've noticed there's a lot of wilds. All we've got more bison there. Maybe we can grab another. Now then we come across Winterhold. Now I already had a feeling just by looking at it, this is where we wanted to settle down. Just looks fantastic. So we stopped off at this. Now if you look at the interior, it's a perfect size. You've got height for forges, and so yeah, I think we're going to mark this one on the map. This map is going to be tough, so I think waypoints are going to be absolutely crucial here. Potent base. Just bear with me while I try to remember how to spell potential. And while my bison gets his lunges in for the day, just look at that. However, this is the one that caught my eye. You've got the pool with a bridge going across, the big tree. Yeah, big tree. So we need to get some foundations and walls together. So, cue the farming montage. Now, the one thing that needs sorting is... Oh, look at that, how central. Beautiful. Now, we need to skin this. It just stands out way too much. Now, luckily, we've got a fair few to choose from. All the DLC content over the years. I think Frontier is probably the one for this. Tides of Fortune must stand out. Everything else would not fit the aesthetic. Let's try the old Frontier out. With pick in hand, of course. The wood's slightly different, but I think that's as close as you're going to get. And get an outside shot in a second, you'll see it does blend in quite well, actually. We will have to do some of this interior. It kind of looks weird with just foundations and doors everywhere, but... Yay! I've seen worse. I've definitely seen worse. At a glance, Lance, you don't even see. I see. Now we're going to get the tech transmitter down. It kind of ruins the aesthetic, but as I said, I need to be able to transfer out easily. Which it turns out is actually extraordinarily easy. About 100 feet away from base is this. A runestone terminal, which is obviously your boss portal. Which we've not even begun to look at yet. And then these buffs, we get fortitude buff, agility buff, and what is a hell runner nodule, and a blood crystal. Lots to find. Oh, he's not having a good day. Not having a good day at all. Let's jump on Mike, which I realise now is actually a female, but we'll run with it. Oh, this, get some meat. I think we're probably going to need an RG. Farming's going to be tough. I've not seen one metal nodule. Just look at it though. Such a cool atmosphere. Take it in for a second. Nice bit of mutton. Straight on Mike Bice. I think we've chose the right creature for this. Really suits him. He's bright pink, but she is bright pink. However, better than something like a Deinonychus or a Thyla or something. Ooh. Big bird. Level 25. We are going to have to consider boss creatures, actually. Maybe Rex, maybe Theory. I don't know what the... Anyway, RG. Now the first two we come across are 140 and a 150, both male. So, action time. Now obviously over the years we've become extraordinarily proficient with a crossbow, so we're going to demonstrate here.
Nope.
Don't worry about it. Steady your nerves.
Nope.
Well, don't worry about it. Second try. Third try.
Nope.
Well. Head up. Maybe close in on the target.
Nope.
Ah, the brains kicked in. The brains kicked in. Get closer to target. And we're on. Now this strat is called sit on the back of an overpowered bison, which is wildly mutated, not care too much about the damage being done. I'm not really one for traps. Even if this wasn't a mutated creature, I would still probably go down this route. RGs don't typically take too many arrows to knock out, especially when you're using a decent crossbow. A couple more we should have him. He's out of here. This is where, look at that. The no look. Good night, RG. And he drops. Completely misses, and it decides to move on. First tame down. a 150 RG, which we'll take. Now, it's going to have to be a mutton tame, which I think is probably not a bad shout anyway, to be honest with you. Let's get that straight in there. Yeah, we're probably going to have a little bit of time to kill here. The RG being a 150 is not going to tame quick. What is that? Some guy riding a mega... Oh, that looks extraordinarily dangerous. It is destroying that. Serata. What is happening? Okay, so there's NPC mounted dinos, which look 12k health, but it looks like he's doing some serious damage. What is that? Just swiping, just going mental at anything. Okay. Oh, what?
Okay.
Let's ignore that. Ignore that. You're still threatening, mate. Don't panic. Anyway, Anki. Not a huge level, but while we're waiting, Argy's at half. Tame, we might as well put our time to good use and bag this colourful Anki. Level 55. It's really just to make farming slightly easier. Obviously, we've got a good pick, but he's out. It's going to have to be a Mijo tame, which, I'll be honest with you, really isn't ideal for an Anki. You need kibble. But we don't have it. So Mijos, it is. And let's just see the absolute minuscule percentage we get off of those. Just look at the map. There's a lot going on. This is one thing I've noticed. There is a lot. Oh my god. Got an alpha supply drop. I think again we're going to need creatures for events like this. Oh god. You see, only level 20, but there is just madness around every corner. You've got a big old ferry, Yuti going mental, horse running for his absolute life. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Microraptor sent. You don't ever pass up the opportunity. Oh. Now this is a situation. We never saw it get killed. We never ever saw anything come up, but there's just a bag with mutton on it. So I can only assume at some point that NPC mounted creature absolutely obliterated our tame. So we need to find another one. Didn't film it, but we found a 140, tranked him out, same way. He's down. Let's get some mutton into it. We need this bird. Again, we're going to have a little bit of time to kill here. But I'll be honest with you, I don't really want to go out of render. However, there's a Carno down there. And what we don't realise at the minute is there's also a Yuti, which is on screen to the right, but us using all 4% of our brain didn't quite anticipate, and madness follows. Again, absolute accuracy from this man. I think we keep forgetting that we haven't just got endless arrows, we've only brought over a certain amount. Let's start making some. And here we go. See, Mike Bison holds his own, he's a beast. However, we didn't factor in the UT's one main ability. There it is. And then get blocked by said UT, just getting nibbled at will. Yay. My sweet Bison. And we're out. 2,000 hours in the game. Currently being nibbled by a level 95 Uranus. And we're on. Not an ideal situation. We should have cleared it properly. However, Mike Bison's going to hold her own. And down. Nice bit of fur. Nice bit of prime. I say a nice bit of prime. We had 2 from that, but nonetheless. RG. Waiting. More waiting. Finally. Final nibble. And he's awake. Now, not having access to the Diner Depot stuff, I mean I do, but I'm trying not to use it to get a bit more of an OG experience. We're going to have to get this back to base. Pretty sharpish. And begin working on a saddle, which I don't imagine we are anywhere close to having the stuff for. Forgetting we have an RG flying above us. We chose the worst route possible. Going across a field of death. Luckily a nice placid. Look at the tail. I think that's an Evo mod. That's on the cluster, but yeah, it looks phenomenal. And we should be able to deal with the Raptor. Missed the melee, which is charged. Shame, but still, Mike Bison, being a mutant, was able to put it down. Nay bother. There we go. The RG has made it back pretty much unscathed. And the one thing I haven't factored in is we are quite inaccessible. It does take a minute to actually get back. There seems to be some absolute carnage going on under the bridge with all the saber-toothed salmon, but we are going to have to look at making getting back to base a touch easier, whether we add in some sort of ramp system. I don't know, but we're back. There's something to behold here. The land flyer whistle, which doesn't ever seem to work as I want it to, works perfectly here. Look at that. That's an obedient RG. Anyway, we've got stuff to do. Let's get a forge down. We need to be able to craft a little bit of metal. Nothing crazy. We've already got our tools. But for saddles and things like that. Need to unload Mike. Which is a weird sentence. Should be able to get a bit of metal going now. I'll be honest, I really do enjoy coming back to this early stages of Ark, you know, when you've just got your forge, your little campfire, get mortar and pestle down, all the stuff, all the basics we are going to need. Just realised we've got a lot of prime and mutton that we do not want to spoil, so I think the preserving bin is probably the way to go. Place. We should have some spark powder which has been cooking up in the background. Let's shove that straight in. Load up the preserving bin with our goods, which I'm sure will go out taming more stuff next episode. Now we're using a CS mod on here, which is pretty common, but that's basically a smithy we're getting down there, which we're going to need. I'm trying to keep everything away from that transmitter so we can keep a bit more of a natural OG feel. And the transmitter's a bit intense, but we could even get rid of it now we've got that rune thing over the road. Now this is a slightly depressing part. We are nowhere near having the RG saddle, but I think that's going to be the goal of next episode. Get the keratin and or the chitin, and hopefully we can fly and find some metal, because I have seen none. Not one nodule. Let's park up Mike Bice. Appreciate the flock. Not bad at all. Look at that little animation from Bice. I'm going to call it Bice or Mike. Mikey Bice. Yeah, like I was saying, having the firelight, you know, when you move to electrics, it's great having lights and stuff like that on switches, but you just can't beat this classic. Look at that. Looks absolutely phenomenal. I love it. Bjarnheim got me hooked. So yeah, we need RG saddles, we need more tames, we need everything. But if you liked it and you want to see more, please do show some support. It is greatly appreciated. And until the next one, goodbye.